Hey creator, I'm Ian Corzine, your social media lawyer, and almost on a daily basis, I get questions from my clients and other creators about the YouTube rules. What are the YouTube rules? They've never read the rules. And so what I'd like to do is make this video to take you through all the YouTube rules that are really, really important for you to consider so that you'll understand them and make better videos and, most importantly, protect your channel from getting suspended or terminated. All right, the first thing we're going to do is turn to the terms of service here, which were in effect on December 10th, 2019. You may remember a lot of hubbub, a lot of talk about changes to these new rules. I think for the most part, they're great changes. They make the language more understandable. They actually give greater rights to the creators, as we'll see as we go through. But, you know, here they are, and this is what we've got to comply with. The first thing I want to point out is right here, distribution platform. The service allows you to discover, watch, and share videos and other content, provides a forum for people to connect, inform, and inspire others across the globe, and acts as a distribution platform. There was a big debate last year concerning whether or not YouTube and Facebook and Instagram were platforms or publishers. The difference really is a platform is kind of like a telephone post. It doesn't discriminate as far as the message goes. It just allows people to post information and people to access it. Whereas a publisher has some discretion in what he or she allows in the newspaper or in the forum. And so there's always been a big debate about this. And the reason why is that there is a law called Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which gives social media platforms immunity from the false statements, the defamatory statements that may be made on their platform by users of the platform. Now, if you are a platform, you get the benefit of this immunity, meaning that you can't be held liable, or the platform can't be held liable for the false statements of the users. However, if you're a publisher, a person that has some discretion in what the content is, like a magazine or a newspaper, then you don't get this protection. And so there's been a lot of talk about this. You know, the platforms like Facebook and YouTube, they all maintain that they're a mere platform. They just put out this kind of distribution channel and allow people to communicate as they see fit. But this really isn't true, as you've seen, especially last year with some of the right-wing and conspiratorial content. YouTube and other social media platforms decided that they didn't want that on their platform, and so they took it off. They terminated the content, they deleted the channels, they deleted the videos. And so that really rings of a publisher and not a platform. So this debate continues to rage on about whether or not YouTube and the other social media platforms are a mere platform or are publishers. And so that's something that you need to think about as a creator going forward. To be really, really honest and straightforward, you know, the platforms are really publishers. You really can't put on anything you see fit. You can't put on hate speech or sexually discriminatory content. You can't do conspiracy things. You can't do extreme, you know, political beliefs or religious discussions. They will limit that. So when you're deciding whether or not, you know, or what you want to put on the social media platforms, understand that you just can't do anything you want. There are some limitations. And as we'll see as we go through these rules, you know, the social media platforms like YouTube has discretion to be able to take down your video at any time and to terminate your channel. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. Next, we want to move on to a thing that I thought was interesting, and maybe you do too. The company with which you have an agreement, a contract, when you use YouTube and when you publish YouTube is Google LLC, and they're a company operating under the laws of Delaware, even though their principal place of business is in Mountain View, California. Why do they have a corporation that is centered and was formed, or at least exists in California, but was formed in Delaware? Well, the reason for that is that Delaware, well, there's a couple reasons, but Delaware has a lot of favorable laws to corporations. Also, Delaware, I guess 60% of all Fortune 500 companies are incorporated in Delaware. 25% of the general revenue from taxes in Delaware comes from corporations incorporating in their state. And I guess the main reason why is that Delaware really understands that people like to be governed by their laws. They spend a lot of money, legislators there spend a lot of time forming laws that are modern corporate laws that actually support corporations and allow them to continue to make money. So a lot of corporations like to go to Delaware to incorporate because they want the benefit of these new modern laws, and they also want laws that really favor the corporate interests. And so that's why Delaware continues to be the state in America that most large companies incorporate in, because they want those modern laws. They want the ability to have laws that are drafted in their favor. There's also like a special court in Delaware that deals with all corporate matters. So if there's some problem in corporate formation or interpretation of the laws of Delaware, you can actually go to a special court in Delaware to have that dispute adjudicated. So that's one little small reason why appears to be Google LLC was formed with Delaware law. You'll find later as we talk about actually the contract that we have as creators with YouTube is governed by California law. However, Google LLC, of course, is formed with Delaware law. Next thing I want to point to are the applicable terms. Your use of this service is subject to these terms: the YouTube community guidelines and the policy, safety, and copyright policies, which may be updated from time to time. Together, this agreement. So as you understand, when you use YouTube, and whether you view or you make videos, you are agreeing to these terms of service. And also in those terms of service are the YouTube community guidelines and policy, safety, and copyright policies, as well as the advertising on YouTube policies, as you see right here. I wanted to let you guys know that this video is going to be long as it is, but I'm going to make separate videos on the YouTube community guidelines. I'm actually going to portion them out because there's a lot of guidelines, and then also do a policy, safety, and copyright policies video, as well as an advertising on YouTube video coming up in this series. All right, let's move on to our next video about social media platform rules. You need to understand the rules before you post to social media. If you want to watch that video, watch right there. And as you watch, I will be here at iancorzine.com to answer any of your social media law questions.